Come one, come all, come me, to the end of liberation. Apocalypse. Oh yes, this is actually what I was saying at the end, towards the end of that last mission. I was figuring that we probably die, right? Like, aftermath or apocalypse, I guess apocalypse is gonna be us dying, right? Given the fact that we kept the Cerebrid, so that was like the evil choice, or the worst choice, or whatever. That's very silly. I don't know. It's very peculiar to me why JD and Darkstorm bothered screwing around with multiple endings. This is also something we saw at Resurgence, I think it was. And I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand why there were branching endings just included at the end of these campaigns. Maybe it was the in thing to do back then, but I don't know about that one, man. Gavray gives a speech on the ion cannon platform, unaware of the incoming wave of death. I wonder why the arenas change here.
Howdy, Colonel. Well, now the war's over, I guess you and me should get a nice long break. I could do with a holiday, perhaps to the sandy white beaches of Stellaria.
Dude, don't say Stellaria. That's gay.
Maybe I'll even retire. I'm tired of war and conflict.
Things that real people say. Draw a circle around things that real people say, and then notice that this transmission, none of it is in the actual circle.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over. The Protoss have left and gone back into deep space, and the Zerg are ours, and the Fangs are crippled. Although I'm still a bit worried about Tylan Blackfire. Black Flag. Looking from his viewpoint, the battle has only just begun.
It is really weird that Tylan Blackfire shows up in one mission and says, I am the antagonist, and then never shows up again unless you... Well, I guess until the ending. Maybe he'll show up in this one. But it's like, as a narrative choice, it seems so psychotic.
I guess I'm just being paranoid. Anyways, Everyone's giving a victory speech on the ion cannon platform. And all of the soldiers who participated in the Battle of Jinnaz have to come.
Don't say that.
I guess you and me had best go now and complete this last rite of conflict.
I am prepared for another 15-minute escapade through fanfiction. And by prepared, I mean I'm not. I am not prepared whatsoever. But what are you going to do? End of transmission. Instead of end of briefing? Why was it like that? Watch the victory speech. More like watch you, actually. Soldiers of the Republic, we are victorious. The Phalanx and the Protoss have been vanquished from our world, and we at last have peace on our planet. Oh, dude, Todd's got some moves. Check this out. Cerebrit Control Vessel. Well, you can bet that that's going to get, like, EMP'd or sniped or Yamato'd or something. I like how these are completely unmanned, by the way. Of course, this victory is coming at a price. Lives have been lost, both military and civilian. Many areas of our world have been left charred and barren. But it is the price of our freedom, and all those have lost their lives shall be remembered forever. I wonder if Metathron's in here, too. No. No Metathron. Good. I fucking hated him. Kill him. Get him out of here, dude. Only get the funny haha Easter eggs if you're... also, no music in here either. Only get the funny haha Easter eggs if you're... get the good guy ending. Dude, these transmissions are so long. I don't even have to read this one until like the last 5 seconds. The efforts of all of you, not just the ones who fought at Jinnaz, have made sure that their lives were not in vain. I extend my gratitude to every man and woman who served in this war, but especially Colonel Todd. Without him, none of this would have been possible. Alright, dude. Your name's Joaquin. Why don't you walk off? You like that one? I thought that was a good bit. Nonetheless, the war is over. We stand victorious, our freedom and liberty restored as they should be, our nation risen from the ashes. We have brought about the liberation, with a capital L, because it's the title of the campaign. Also, check out my Wraith patrols that are out of sync, because I don't know how to do choreography. Priority alert! I've detected a huge Zerg swarm here! Approaching the platform! ETA 30 seconds. I only could detect it now because I was too busy playing anime games. I'm from Undertale. Don't be upset at me. I don't know how to use my phone to do anything but tweet about Undertale.
How the battle station, soldiers. We must repel the Zerg at all costs.
No. Repel you, actually. Man, for anybody who's not seen my Undertale playthrough, that voice is not going to be familiar whatsoever. Oh, check out my 9 Mutalisks, or 12 Mutalisks. Bye! Bye! Alert! Surge detected in ion cannon power grid! Oh, man, this is embarrassing. He didn't even change that.
Cannon has been destroyed. I warned you, Joaquin. We should not have been meddling with the Zerg.
Quiet, Todd. I agree. Our sensors show that Zerg Mutalisks are pulling out. Can't we bring in reinforcements from Sevron? Zerg Mutalisks are pulling out, by the way.
Nope. Zerg swarm is completely blockading the platform. Nothing is going to get in. Or out.
You're not trapped in here with me. I'm trapped here in this fucking goddamn Get me out! Please, I'm done! I want to be done. Hello?
Damn it. Wait. I'm getting a reading on something.
Dude, I'm getting a reading on motion sickness. I bet that looks real good on YouTube. Oh, boy. So you're welcome for that one. Hope you looked away. Otherwise, you're dead. Bye. Yeah, it's like 10... It's like 20 Scourge. Oh.
Zerg Red Forces. Incoming.
What? Oh, hi. Dude, don't worry. Metatron will... Dude, they should have put Metatron here so that he could have died. I don't know why he disabled the music. Oh, shit!
Shit! I want all available fleets up here right now on the double goddamn. This is Goliath 6098H, which I am a civilian portrait for some reason. Oh, that's Ixar. All available units are currently tied up. Our Zerg suddenly went berserk and started ripping through our forces. Oh, crap. Static.
Dude, that Tassadar is setting you up, man. I like how they're just sitting here. Like, he doesn't even move away from the spore colonies or anything.
Sir, we've got company. Devourers of Mutalisks. Approaching for the south.
Dude, just get the Protoss to warp you in or out. Give him kisses, dude. Bye!
No. Todd, what have I done? I should have listened to you, but I was not wise enough. I was too arrogant, too assured of our invulnerability. All men, stand down. It has been a pleasure to have such dedicated people serving me, but I have failed you all. Now I must pay for it.
At least have them actually be attacking him. Like, the Zerg just pause and wait for their cue, except we can see them, so it's really embarrassing. Even if we couldn't see the Zerg in this case, it would still be embarrassing, because we would be wondering what the fuck they were doing. Bye. Mwah!
Arrogance, the downfall of all. Let us make haste to succor us, but we shall return, and what we do, the land will run thick of Zerg blood.
Praetor Todd, also known as Todd Darris, given his fucking portrait. Dude, Todd Darris, that sounds like a real name, a real Protoss name. Somebody should use that in their next campaign. This is sick behavior. Oh, that was coincidental timing. But there you go. That was the real ending. The ending that I like to imagine anyways, where everybody but Praetor Todd dies. I guess the Cerebrate too, but he wasn't really a character. He didn't even say anything. Well, maybe... Wait. Well, maybe he did. I didn't actually ever play the version where I killed, or I secured the Cerebrate by... I think you had to, like, Yamato it a bunch of times or something. I'm not actually sure how you're supposed to do it. You, like, neutralize it or something. But I never played that particular version, so... like, played the version of map 8 to that particular victory condition. So I don't really know what to say. It's been quite the experience, man. It's been real miserable. But you can rest assured knowing that it's over. And so my review will come out in the next couple of days. And then we'll move on to another campaign. Probably War of the Tribes. And then after that, I was thinking of doing DK's campaign that he released in October of this year. So might be able to get to that before the end of January if I manage to do War of the Tribes soonish. But this campaign was really difficult to get through, and I want to speak for a brief moment on that, leave you some final closing thoughts before we part ways until the review. I think the reason why this campaign was so difficult to get through is because its macro missions, which, to its credit, I suppose, did comprise the majority of the campaign. There was 3 micro missions in a row, which really turned me off from playing the campaign any further. But the macro missions were plentiful. It's just that, excuse me, I did talk about this at the end of 9B, I believe. Some of them had gimmicks, obviously, but the vast majority of them, even when they were played straight, were so bad in terms of the ability that you actually had to engage with the enemies. You know what I mean? Oh, I guess this was a micro mission as well. I forgot about the first mission. Really starting us off on the wrong foot there. And then this one was a weird gimmick mission where you had to transport civilians. And then this one was... Actually, I believe this one was a macro mission, and then map 4 was the one that I was, where 9, or 10A, this is like the same map that took place on 10A, basically. So, anyways, I'm not going to recap them all, but bottom line was that we basically had to sit through a lot of gimmicks and a lot of slogs, and I think, like JD, is actually the one who is primarily credited in the other literature that I could find on this campaign. Darkstorm is more of like I think an accessory tester or something, somebody who's had an involvement in the project. But I didn't see JD credited, for example, which makes me feel like he was probably the one who didn't want to put his own like self insert there, maybe, or maybe I just missed him. Maybe he's like a Corsair hero or something. But I'm pretty sure JD was the main guy behind it. But either way, regardless of that history, these people, I think, were aware that the missions were so boring to get through that they added these gimmicks that you could interact with differently to like make the missions faster than killing the enemy units. And like destroying the enemy base, crippling their economy, and ultimately finding some sort of victory over them. That's what StarCraft is about, right? That's what we play the melee for. And that was the more memorable of the Brood War missions, I think. At least the ones that I enjoyed playing more were things like that, like Omega, for example, where your only objective is to destroy the enemy bases. And Omega is the final mission of the entire campaign. It stands to reason that Blizzard recognized that the quintessential StarCraft experience is actually build and destroy without any gimmicks. And so you're just told to fight enemy bases, and that's it. And that's fine. That is okay if the AI engages you, which obviously in Omega isn't really the case, but, you know, whatever. I mean, even into Slay the Beast, there's a lot of people. There's junk on the map, obviously, and of course the gimmick there is that you have to destroy one building instead of destroying an entire base. But sort of like the 5th mission of Inconsummate, where you only have to destroy one building technically to win the entire game. To get to that point realistically, you do have to do a whole lot of work, which will mandate, you know, expanding, destroying enemy strongholds between you and the target structure, that sort of thing, right? It's like a well-protected, well-defended area. And so I still am partial to that idea. That's another one of the most memorable maps that people say is to Slay the Beast and Omega. There's also the 2 ones that are the hardest for most people who are like noobs and stuff. So I think that says a lot about what StarCraft should be, especially in a campaign context, and what StarCraft is in this context for Liberation is something where the AI is not well designed. It's not fitting the missions. It breaks constantly. It's really easy to take advantage of if you know what you're doing, like I did. But even if you're a casual person who doesn't really know too much about AI and how maps are coded under the hood, it's still probably pretty easy for you to claim victory over them. Again, the challenge, I say this all the time, it's probably a broken record. The challenge in a lot of these maps is staying awake, is staying on task. And I don't mean that in a purely disparaging manner, because this is actual feedback. It's not that I was just really tired. It's not just that this map was boring. It was that because there was nothing engaging with me, nothing forcing me to play better in order to win, until a certain point where I was so conditioned to not actually play well and not put all of my APM to task and not take all of my mental fortitude, forcing all of my skills and what little there are to, into the prospect of actually playing, the process of actually playing this map. Because I was conditioned that way, when there time came where I would actually need to play well, I would need to micro well, I need to macro well, like in the Mission 8, for example, which I actually had to redo, that would be a situation where, okay, yeah, you can criticize my gameplay in that context, but I've been conditioned, because the AI does not engage with me, to play poorly and get away with it. And, some people will play maximum effort no matter what, even if they're not being engaged with, because they know it'll go by faster or whatever. But I'm pretty lazy as a player. Unless I'm forced to play well, I'm not going to. And even when I'm forced to play well, I often don't, just because I'm bad. But that's another story, right? If forced to play to the highest level of skill that I can exert, and that I can demonstrate, and that I can express. If I'm not forced to do that, then I won't. 9 times out of 10. And so that is what I'll leave you with there. I think that's a nice summation of why Liberation's maps were so frustrating to play, is because there were some times where you did actually need some skill, but they were few and far in between, and it was usually after like half an hour of slogging through a map that was filled with pre-placed junk, and so some map knowledge was required, and a lot of patience was required to get through there. And because the AI was never engaging with you, because the game was never engaging with you, forcing you to actually play better for the vast majority of it, skill testing you at all stages, you were never prepared for when the inevitable, difficulty spikes occurred in the same mission. Like the boss battle is another good example in whatever the third micro mission was. I guess it was this one, New Venom, map 7. If you want to take a look at that, I actually urge you not to, because it's really a disgusting level, but if you do decide to revisit that one, or you remember it already, you know what I'm talking about. You look at it, you say, alright, this is a really pissy easy installation map, and then you get to a boss that has like 1250 HP, and he spawns a bunch of fell spines, and if you don't know the hard counter to that, then you fail no matter what. And that was another example of a situation really gone wrong in that case. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining me. This is actually one of the most commented on playthroughs I've had, which is weird because it's one of the least engaging ones that I've done a playthrough of, campaign-wise, Broodwark campaign-wise. So I really appreciate all the conversation in the comments section. I hope we can continue that for the review and for future things. So I'll try to remember to be like asking questions or posing certain critiques in the videos themselves, but it seems like, the regular viewers that I see, you guys, just engaging with the videos, telling me, what you think, and telling other people who read the comments what they think, and sort of going back and forth. And it's cool to see that, because I think it'll be useful for current content creators once we get to campaigns that have been made in the modern era, or projects where the authors of those projects are still developing to this day, might be able to take that into consideration. Even if we're not playing their campaign, but we're playing another campaign, they can maybe extrapolate that stuff over. So even if it doesn't end up being useful for another developer, it's still cool to have that conversation in general. So before this carries on into a 20-minute rant, I'm going to go ahead and press the stop record button. Thanks for joining me. Big kisses. Mwah.